Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Rebel Rewind. My name's Christopher. With me, as always, is Eric from Sire Speed Reviews.
What's
How
up,
you doing?
Chris? I'm good. How you doing, Chris? How's your day?
Not too bad. You were mentioning you're a little hot there in your collection.
Yeah, I don't know, the little
Your
AC.
collection shelter. I don't know what do you even call yours? What do you call yours? Because I know people have names for their collection rooms. That they call it like the den or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't really have a name for mine, but like, do you call yours like the collection shed or the collection hut?
I call it a shed, collection shed. Yeah, pretty much. It's basically
Yeah.
what it is. It's like a storage
Yeah.
shelter. I mean, like a little storage room.
Yeah.
I think it's 8 by 12.
Yeah.
But it's split down the middle. I got some storage stuff in the back, so
Yeah.
it's my own
I like
space.
I like the shirt. We're representing the sequel trilogy today.
Yeah.
You got the Force Awakens. I'm representing the our buddy Finn from the Rise of Skywalker and the sequel trilogy, right?
Oh, yeah, I was watching a video with him on Star Wars Theory.
Yeah, I know. I saw that too. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool that he stopped by the booth, right?
Yeah.
And he had who else? The guy from Twilight. He played one of the vampires.
Oh yeah,
Twilight.
yeah. I saw it.
Stopped by the booth too. So that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool.
Yep. These conventions, man.
Yeah, I know.
See some pretty cool actors and stuff.
Right? Are you going to any conventions anytime soon? Like I know Rebel Scum's coming up, and that's kind of like your neck of the woods there.
Yeah, I was trying to make plans, but the plans aren't working.
Right.
Yeah, so I'm gonna have to just maybe meet up with some of our fellow YouTube friends another time. It just wasn't working.
Yeah. Speaking of our YouTube friends, Patrick from Poptography in the chat. Hello there, fellas.
What's up, Patrick? How you doing?
Collection room / studio. Yeah, that's the way I go too. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Brandon from Clan Brandalorian.
Hey,
what's good, bro? Y'all? Hey, Brandon. Thanks for
Brandon?
hopping in the chat. We'll have to have you on the show
yeah,
one time and chat some Star Wars. It's always a good chat with Brandon. Very knowledgeable guy. So we got some pretty crazy news, I think. Hey,
I know we got some good stuff this week.
We got some good stuff, yeah.
Yeah.
I think one of my favorite ones is going to be the David Cornsweet Superman.
Yeah.
Because like we've seen him do some interviews, but like now he's doing like all the press interviews for Superman and stuff, and he's bringing up Star Wars a lot.
Yeah.
Like they're asking him about it, he's bringing it up out of nowhere. Like he's a big fan, man. So, pretty crazy.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. I mean, I like him, and I haven't watched the Superman movie.
No, but I heard it's good. I heard it's really good.
Twister, and that's the first time likable guy. And being the fact that he's a Star Wars fan, it's just a cool point.
Yeah. Let's do our rapid fire segment first, though.
Rapid fire segment. All right, we got some pretty cool stuff here. So there are rumors, and I know there's other YouTubers out there talking about this. There are rumors stemming from a story from Cosmic Book News that Netflix might want to purchase Disney from Star Wars from Disney, but there are no evidence to support this. But as far as we get some more news, we'll definitely cover it. There's also a auction going in September. So Darth Vader's lightsaber for Empire Strikes Back, Return of the Jedi, set for auction from Prop Store this September in Los Angeles. The saber was held on screen by actor David Prowse and is a pre-sale value estimated ranging from $1 million to $3 million. Crazy. That would be an awesome part of the collection right there.
Yeah, great.
And on this day on Star Wars History News, which was yesterday's story, was for yesterday, July 15th. The filming ended in 1976 for A New Hope, and The Acolyte aired on Disney Plus last year, yesterday. So that's pretty much the rapid fire segment for this evening.
Rapid fire segment.
Yeah, throwing that out there.
Hey,
yes, rapid fire.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen some people do some videos on that rumor.
Yeah, I know. How do you feel about that? Like, what do you think? Like, I don't know. Why don't you give your opinion first?
Well, I mean,
what do you think about
that? I'm thinking about, like, okay, if it's true, I'm not sure if I want Netflix to be in charge of Star Wars. I mean, Netflix does decent stuff, but it's not like in the production like value of some of the, like, what you would expect, I think, from Star Wars. Because I've seen some of the films from Netflix. Some of them are good, and some of the shows are good too. But I'm not sure if they can handle like Star Wars.
Yeah.
Now, I mean, I would like maybe perhaps somebody else. I don't know who else can live up to it, but
yeah. And again, it's just a rumor too, right?
Yeah.
So,
so what do you think about?
So I think, like, let's say it's not a rumor. Let's say this is actually happening. I don't think it matters who owns Star Wars, who owns Lucasfilm. That's like, I feel like Disney probably has more. Disney's got the big bags of Mickey Mouse cash, right? Disney cash, right? I feel like Disney's the bigger company. But let's say Netflix or whoever. What other companies are there that Disney doesn't own? Paramount? I don't think they own Paramount yet. Whatever. Let's say another company buys it. I don't think it matters who buys it, who owns it.
Max?
Yeah, like it's more about who they get to come in and take charge of it, like write the stories and is in charge, like if Netflix buys it, Kathleen Kennedy's still attached to Lucasfilm, right? So she's going to go over until she's done, and then whoever is her successor is going to go over with it, right? Like they're not going to be like, oh, we're buying Star Wars, we're firing everyone.
Well, I mean, they could.
Like I mean, they could.
Yeah, I don't know.
But
they could clear the.
I think like it's not. Yeah, they could clear the whole slate, right? But like,
yeah,
it's more about who's in charge creatively behind the scenes, right? It doesn't matter like whether it's Netflix's name that is owning Star Wars or owns the rights to Star Wars, or if it's Disney or HBO Max, like you mentioned. Like it doesn't matter. I think it's more about who they have in charge, like the person that they have in charge of all the creative stuff. So yeah, that's my thought on that. Let us know in the chat what your thoughts are on that. Like, I don't think it's gonna happen. Like I said, like Disney's the bigger dog in this thing, right? Like Netflix is pretty big, but I think Disney's the big dog there, right?
Yeah, for the most. Yeah, I mean, I don't see anybody else competing with Disney. Maybe Max is they're but Netflix, they have the range. They got all these different countries that they deal with to make films, and imagine just the in universe or on location filming they can do. But yeah, like you said, I mean, it's who's in charge of the overall vision of where they're going to go with it if they ever did. Let's say Netflix or whatever.
Yeah, like would it matter right now? Let's say it wasn't Disney. Let's say it was Netflix who bought it from George. Like Kathleen Kennedy would still be there because that was kind of like his stipulation, wasn't it? One of his stipulations that Kathleen was taking over for him as the president of Lucasfilm.
Yeah, but that's it. That's at Disney though. I mean, if they were to like switch over to,
I know. I'm just saying,
they have to write a new contract.
Let's say theoretically, if Netflix bought it instead of Disney back in 2015, right? Like George still would have been like, Kathleen's taken over for me, so she would still be, she still would have done some of the stuff, maybe Netflix might have been like, hey, you know what, things aren't working out with you, and they would have got rid of her sooner. I don't know. But like, she still would have been with Lucasfilm for a little bit.
Yeah, if it was written in the contract that's the house they're going to go to next, or they're going to sell it to their Netflix.
Yeah.
But I think right now, if it actually like leaves Disney and go over to Netflix, they will have to write a new contract for it.
Yeah, for sure.
Void her contract. Who knows?
Yeah, for sure. But again, I don't think it's going to happen. I think it's just a rumor.
Yeah, all rumors, and it's kind of fun to think about, but
yeah, I mean, it could be a different though, but who knows? Yeah, we got other news. We got Rian Johnson news, news about his trilogy, news about The Last Jedi, stuff like that. To get into again, Superman. We're talking Superman today, and some other stuff. So let's jump into our first article, The Acolyte. Everyone's favorite Star Wars TV show. I really enjoyed it. Like it is one of my favorites. I don't know how you feel. Whoop.
No,
let's bring you on there. There we go. Sorry.
Yeah,
no, it wasn't one of your favorites.
Was not one of my favorites.
Yeah, that's fair.
But I mean, I like. There's some aspects about it that I did enjoy. Not right. I didn't hate everything about it. Some of it. I
really enjoyed it. It's up there. It's probably, I don't know. It's up there with Ahsoka for me. So
I'll take. Yeah.
Eric's like, I'm rethinking this partnership. Rebel Rewind might be.
Nah.
My wife's in the chat. Says I can't see Disney giving up that cash cow. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, they are bleeding though, but I don't see them getting it.
Yeah, but I mean, they still have the money. It's probably not. It's not hurting them, even if they're losing like millions of dollars. It's probably not even hurting them.
Yeah.
That much, right? Like.
Yeah, for sure. They have that kind of money.
Yeah, Disney has way too much invested with theme parks and for Star Wars to sell it. Yeah, that's true, right? But yeah, the Acolyte Star, whether you liked it or didn't like it, Acolyte Star reveals this R-rated Chimere scene was cut from the Star Wars series. So Manny Jacinto shared details about a brutal scene involving Chimere in the Acolyte that didn't make the cut. So Manny Jacinto revealed that an R-rated scene involving Chimere that almost made it into the final cut of the Star Wars series on Disney Plus, created by Leslie Headland. The prequel series introduced Chimere as a ruthless villain and mysterious Sith Lord who single-handedly defeated and killed several Jedi in a memorable lightsaber duel on the planet Kofar. Although Disney has canceled the Acolyte, the mystery surrounding Chimere is a big question mark among Star Wars fans, such as whether or not he is truly a Sith Lord or something else entirely. While there were many questions and theories about Chimere's origins, there is no denying that the Star Wars villain might be one of the ruthless foes of the Jedi Knights ever faced during the height of the High Republic era. In a recent appearance at a fan convention, Manny Jacinto revealed that Chimere might even be more dangerous than initially presented after sharing details about a scrapped R-rated scene. So at Denver Fan Expo, Manny Jacinto spoke with Screen Rant, pulled the curtain back on an intense R-rated scene involving Chimere that was cut from the Acolyte during the action-packed lightsaber duel on the planet Kofar. So he said Chimere was supposed to, quote, take one Jedi and keep slamming his head into a rock, but it was cut because Star Wars has always been under the umbrella of a PG parental guidance rating. I mean, I feel like Revenge of the Sith got a little dark there, and I think that had like a higher rating. What was it, like PG-13 or something?
Yeah, it was PG-13.
Yeah, so Star Wars has always been PG, but you want to find some brutal aspects of these fights. There was one moment, I think, where I just take one Jedi and keep slamming his head into a rock because we wanted to show how brutal this guy could be without any remorse. And you know what? That would have been cool to see. That would have been pretty crazy to see him just like slamming Yeah.
That would have been
Like
a little over the top. No, but I got that from him. I got that for what he did.
I got that too. I got how brutal
Jackie
it was.
Long,
like, yeah,
times.
and what's the other guy's name? Yord. How he came in, and he just like snapped his neck with like the and like tossed him. Like, you got how brutal he was. This definitely would have pushed it even more, maybe over the top, like you said. But yeah, that'd be pretty crazy.
Imagine if they would have put a disclaimer before the episode started.
Right? Yeah, that would have been crazy.
First,
so while the scrap scene makes sense due to a Star Wars family-friendly approach, it would have been exciting to see a much more brutal Chimera in the Acolyte to cement further how much of a threat he is against the Jedi Knights. The Acolyte revolves around the story of the former Padawan who unexpectedly reunites with her Jedi Master to investigate a series of murders that led them to a revelation about the dark side of the Force. So yeah, it's it would have been pretty brutal to have that. I could see that. I could see them doing it, but again, like, how far do you go before? Like, how far can you go before they have to change that rating from like a PG something to rated R, right? So
no, I think that probably would have been a little on the a little much, but
it might have been.
I got that the character can do these things.
For sure,
and it's as brutal as we got from what he did already. Without the cutscene, he was the best part of the show. I think was kind of amazing.
Yeah.
Manny did a fantastic job.
He did. Yeah. Patrick said, I enjoyed the Acolyte and the stranger scenes over Ahsoka and versus Balin. The stranger versus a Jedi over Ahsoka versus Balin, it's very close for me, too, actually. It's very close. Seeing him feed off the rage would have been cool, though. Yeah. Right? I mean, we kind of saw similar rage in Kylo Ren in the sequel trilogy, especially in The Force Awakens, right? How he got really, that'd be pretty cool if they made Kylo even darker.
Yeah. And then let's talk about the R-rated Star Wars that could possibly, come. Imagine what they would do with whichever character they choose, the villain they choose.
Yeah.
Part of it. I mean, if they actually filmed this part, but they decided to cut it out, imagine now that they've got the A-OK to do an R-rated.
Yeah.
What would they do? Wow.
Yeah. My wife chiming in again. He came across that way without the scene. I still would have enjoyed it. Yeah.
It's like the saying it's more what you say. That saying go than what you actually show on.
Yeah.
Something like that. I forgot how it goes, but I mean, I got that from him.
Yeah, like how far is too far, right? Like you don't want to go too far. So yeah, I agree. I did.
Now, if you were to get the
I definitely got how brutal. Yeah, but I feel like most fans probably understood how brutal he was just by how he fought and how he killed all those Jedi, right? So
yeah, that was impressive. What Manny Jacinto brought to the character, and if if the rumors are correct and what we've heard that them bringing back season 2, then that's awesome for him. If they focus more, I think, on Chimera, that would be a win for the show.
Yeah,
because he was the best part of the show, in my opinion.
Yeah, you know what? Him and Soul was one of my favorite.
Soul was awesome.
Yeah. I want to see some more Jedi shish kebabs, right? How he still stabbed the 2 Jedi, like he stabbed the one and like force pulled the other one.
Yeah. Wow. Yep.
Yeah.
Dude, brutal. And that didn't get a rated R.
Right.
Yeah. So, yeah, I'm just wondering, like, where would they go with this if they were to decide to do an R-rated Star Wars film?
Yeah.
So
pretty dark.
let's get on to the creator here. George Lucas heading to Comic-Con for the first time ever. So Star Wars creator will headline a panel at Lucas on his Lucas Museum of Narrative Arts, and will be joined by Guillermo del Toro and Queen Latifah. Let me scoot down a little bit here. So George Lucas, whose Star Wars movies helped create many of the ideas of modern fandom, is coming to San Diego Comic-Con for the first ever panel. Lucas will be joined by filmmaker Guillermo del Toro and artists from the prequel trilogy, Doug Chang, for a panel that will be exploring the power of illustration, story, and offer a sneak peek at the new Lucas Museum of Narrative Art. Did you see that building?
Yeah, no, it looks futuristic. It looks like a starship almost. It's shaped like a starship. Yeah.
So Queen Latifah, the Grammy, Emmy, Golden Globe winner, will be moderating the panel, which will take place on Sunday at Hall H at the Cavernous and Studied area in the San Diego Convention Center. The panel of creators will discuss the role of narrative arts in society while tracing humanity's innate desire to draw, animate, and bring to life stories across the millennia. I said, we are beyond thrilled to welcome George Lucas to Comic-Con for the first time ever, says David Glanzer. So nearly 5 decades ago, Star Wars made one of its earliest public appearances at our convention, along with a booth featuring Howard Jenkins' now legendary Star Wars poster as promotional items. So now I have Mr. Lucas return, this time to debut the Lucas Museum of Narrative Art. It is a true full circle moment. His lifelong dedication to visual storytelling and world building resonates deeply in our communities. The museum's mission is to celebrate narrative art, and its forms perfectly reflects what Comic-Con has championed since the very beginning. So he's going to be, going to be a Q&A, or I believe it's going to be a Q&A, and so moderated by Queen Latifah. And there have been many panels on many aspects of Star Wars throughout the Comic-Con in San Diego. So one of the exceptional one was a panel in 2004 where Lucasfilm revealed Revenge of the Sith as the title for the Star Wars Episode 3. Another was Harrison Ford, Carrie Fisher, and Mark Hamill sharing the stage in 2015 to veil a peek at the first Star Wars Force Awakens, although that was now in the Disney era and not Lucas at that time. But I think this is going to be an awesome treat for whoever is going to San Diego Comic-Con.
Yeah. Could you imagine just like being in the same room as him, like not even meeting him, just being in the same room as him, listening to the panel, listening to him talk?
Yeah, listening to him talk live, and it's just what a treat for whomever's going. It's one of those conventions that is way out of reach for me.
Right.
But that's
maybe
awesome.
one day. I'd like to go one day to San Diego Comic-Con, I think.
Yeah. Or even visit the
Lucas, the museum.
The museum that he's building.
Yeah.
So there's going to be other works in there also. They were talking about Norman Rockwell paintings are going to be in there. Let's see, Frida Kahlo's, Maxwell Parrish also showcase. There'll also be showcases for works by comic artists, including Winsor McKay, Jack Kirby, Frank Franzetta, and many more. R. Crumb. Yeah, so it's going to be just a visual museum for, because art is part of our culture and part of our
Here's the rendering of it right there.
That's pretty wicked. That's an awesome building.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Yeah,
that'd be neat to see. Like I said, it would be pretty awesome to see George.
Yeah, if you ever go to California or San Diego, that would probably be a spot to you got to stop by. I don't know about entries or whatever, but how much that would be, but that's cool.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, let's talk Superman. Let's talk David Cornsweet, because as we mentioned, like he's such a big Star Wars fan, and like there were clips of him, like there was a video of him like reenacting the whole trench run scene, you know, doing the all the voices and all that, the sound effects for that, and like now he's doing the press tour for Superman, and he's been asked about Star Wars like in almost every interview, and he like there was just a clip of him talking about why Qui-Gon was the one who should have trained Anakin and stuff like that. Yeah, it's pretty crazy stuff. Like he's a huge fan. He's a huge fan. Like he's like Sam Witwer level Star Wars fan, right? Like he knows his stuff. So yeah, David Cornsweet chooses lightsaber over cape. He says he'd rather be a Jedi than Superman. So yeah, David Cornsweet, who just made his big screen debut as Superman in James Gunn's reboot, has revealed he's actually a massive Star Wars fan. In fact, he said he'd rather be in Star Wars than return as the Man of Steel if he had to choose. So David sat down with his Superman co-star Nicholas Hoult for a fun lie detector test video with Vanity Fair. The two actors asked each other random questions, and things got interesting when Star Wars came up. So David admitted that he watches the Star Wars movies regularly, especially around New Year's Eve, and even brings 3 to 4 films, binges 3 to 4 films in one go. When Nicholas asked him to quote a line from the franchise, David laughed and said he always remembers them when he's watching, but couldn't come up with any on the spot. Then came the big question: would he choose to star in a Superman sequel or play a Jedi Knight in Star Wars? David took a deep breath and said, Jedi Knight in Star Wars. According to the lie detector, he was telling the truth. Nicholas looked shocked and asked if that was the toughest decision he had to make. David replied, it was among them. He added, in the end, as many things do, it came down to the money, and I'm already under contract for a sequel, but I'd be fresh negotiating with Star Wars. So yeah, he's putting it out there. David went in to explain what role he'd love to play in a galaxy far, far away. He said, my dream role, I think, would be like to play like an X-Wing pilot in a Star Wars film. A Jedi was sort of my childhood dream, but now, since I'm into aviation and that like sitting in an X-Wing cockpit sounds so first of all a great way to shoot the movie. Great way to shoot a movie. You're just sitting in the cockpit. You don't have to learn any choreography. Just beep boop boop boop. He said while laughing. David stars as a new Superman in the new DC film released just this past week. Or actually last week, I think it was, wasn't it? On Friday, I think it was. So I think that's pretty funny. Did you see the clip?
Yeah,
Did you watch it?
Yeah, I guess yes. I'm sure there's no problem putting the clip on if you wanted to put it on.
Yeah, it might go through the whole interview, so I don't want to do that.
Okay, all right, I got you.
But yeah, the article is in the link in the description below with a link to the video. You guys can check it out. It is pretty funny. Like,
yeah, I was watching like shorts of
yeah, and it brings a smile to my face, like seeing this guy like being such a huge fan of Star Wars, right? Like,
yeah,
bring him in.
Yeah.
Like, maybe
he got
not
the
for
sequel,
Starfighter.
So like,
yeah,
he's putting it out there because of the fact that what would you rather do, the sequel or be a Star Wars? Well, I already in contract with for a sequel, but he didn't say that before. But hey, Star Wars, because he already got it. He cemented a sequel.
You know what? But by the time he's done the sequel or whatever, maybe let's say Starfighter does really well. That comes out in 2027. That's a couple years from now. Let's say that does really well, and they want to do a sequel. I would imagine by that time they should have a sequel for Superman, or maybe, maybe they'll be done wrapping or done filming a sequel for Superman. Maybe then he'll be done his contract and he can come on to like a sequel for Starfighter, right? Patrick said he's hedging his bets on getting work with Starfighter and Rogue Squadron. Yeah, right. Another thing, like I don't know if you watched some of the other interviews with him, it's funny because like whenever he mentions Star Wars, like him and his co-stars like Nicholas Hoult and I can't remember the actress's name who plays Lois Lane. They take a shot every time he mentions. Every time he mentions Star Wars. Yeah. Smart move. Yeah. So yeah, it's just fun watching these interviews of him.
I know it's easier for a Marvel actor to jump into Star Wars, but
because they're already under like the same parent company, right? Like Disney already owns you.
yeah. But who knows? There's also talks about, and I know a lot of people, and I'm with it myself. I don't want a merger of DC and Marvel, but if it ever comes to be that, Disney just comes and sucks it all in and just makes DC part of,
I mean, I can see that happening. I can see Disney buying DC.
Yeah, I don't want that though, but if it ever happens, there you go.
But like, why wouldn't you though? Like, I feel like then everything's all on one streaming thing. You got your Disney, you got your Star Wars, you got
separate,
your Marvel.
It's separate ideas, separate filming, different. Separate deals, show movies.
It would still be
DC
separate.
Always had that darker tone to it, more.
That is true.
Grounded. Yeah, it's totally different.
That is true.
I know it would make sense, but I'd rather.
Patrick said maybe a crossover movie.
If they decide to make I know they've done. Who Framed Roger Rabbit? They was able to get Mickey Mouse in the
Warner Brothers, and
film.
Disney. Yeah.
If they do something like that, where it's a collaborate, okay, but you're on that side and you're over here, then and let it work that way.
And there were stipulations for that movie too, like was it like Mickey had to have the same amount of screen time as Bugs Bunny and stuff like that?
They're feuding companies. I mean, and I get it, but I mean they've done.
They've made it work with Sony though. They made it work with Sony because like Sony still owns the rights to Spider-Man, right? So.
True.
And they made it work. They've made it work with bringing Spider-Man into some of the Marvel movies so far. So.
Yeah, I can imagine if they would ever do something like that, all the paperwork that would go behind it and all the contracts, and it's a big deal. But I'll keep them separate. But I wouldn't mind having them a crossover film. That'd be cool. How do we get into this conversation?
Right? Like, how did we get into like Who Framed Roger Rabbit?
Oh yeah, because of David and DC. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean it's a possibility.
Yeah, for sure.
He can negotiate his own contract with it
would be cash grab for both and give DC that boosts it so it needs. Yeah. I mean, I think with James Gunn, like, because James Gunn is now he's like pretty much a Kevin Feige over at DC, right? Like he's it's his DC universe. He's the one who's
he's in charge of it now.
Putting it all together, right? He's in charge of it, yeah. So I think it'll do better now.
I thought the Snyderverse was where they were going to go. I mean, I thought the potential. I mean, I wanted that, but
I didn't mind. Like we're going way off topic now, but I didn't mind Zack Snyder's.
Well, we got different interests too.
Superman, Superman, and like the Justice League.
Yeah,
but I don't know. Like the Superman movie looks good. I'll have to wait and see before I make my come to any conclusions. But like James Gunn, he's like they're already doing a second Batman movie with Robert Pattinson. Peacemaker's still a go, so they're keeping John Cena as Peacemaker. Yeah. You know who? Again, we're way off topic, but like, I would like to see Grant Gustin come back and play the Flash. The Flash who was in the CW series.
The series,
Yeah, like because he did a fantastic job. I didn't love Ezra, what's his name? Ezra
Miller.
Miller.
Yeah.
I didn't love him as the Flash. I thought Grant Gustin did a fantastic job on the series. So, like James Gunn,
I
bring
can see
him back.
but he's older right now, so I'm not sure if
He's older too. I mean, I think it could work still. You can play an older Flash, like the older Barry Allen, and then have, I can't think of the younger character's name. Have somebody else play the younger version of the Flash, right? Patrick said it. I think he is coming back as Flash. I mean, maybe, I don't know. I haven't really heard anything, so.
Yeah.
But
I like that they're bringing. I like the fact that they're bringing. They're bringing back Aquaman, Jason Momoa as Lobo. I think that was perfect casting.
Yeah.
He looked at it. That's what everybody been asking him to be Lobo. I'm glad that he just went ahead and did this. So, all right. So let's get back into
Star Wars, right?
Story number 2. This story is coming from Direct. Andor creator revealed that one Star Wars character he would retcon into Rogue One. So Tony Gilroy revealed that he wished that he could retcon one Star Wars character into Rogue One after the end of Andor Season 2. Over the last decade, Gilroy has become one of the most celebrated figures in modern Star Wars. He first won fans over with a long-running sci-fi franchise, over with his work on the acclaimed Rogue One Star Wars story, telling the tale of the ill-fated rebel team who stole the Death Star plans, leading into Rogue One and New Hope. He also continued his Star Wars hot streak, diving into the world of Rogue One with 2 seasons of the Diego Luna-led Disney Plus series Andor, following Luna's Rogue One rebel spy before he appeared in the 2016 film. Now, though, with the context of Andor under his belt, Born Identity writer had shared that he wanted to make one specific change to Rogue One if he had a chance to go back. Speaking with Empire magazine, Gilroy detailed who from Andor he would want to retcon into Rogue One. So when he was asked if there was any characters from this hit Disney series he would add into the 2016 Star Wars Rogue One film, he said, "I want Vel Zartha there for sure," referencing Faye Marseille's rebel recruit from the award-winning streaming show. Think of Vel's take on Jyn Erso, and Andor Swordrunner remarked, adding, "I'm sure that she had some choice things to say about her." I said, "I would want Vel there for sure." Says, "My God, think of Vel's take on Jyn Erso. I'm sure she'd have some very choice things to say about her. Jyn also would light up all of Vel's irritations." While Vel played a key role at both seasons of the Andor series, getting one of the most tragic and perhaps controversial stories on the show's run, she is nowhere to be seen in Rogue One's a Star Wars story. Andor Season 2 wrapped up on Disney in mid-May, bringing Tony Gilroy's gripping episodic base drama to a close and possibly ending his time working with a galaxy far, far away. Marseille starred as Vel alongside Diego Luna as Cassian Andor, Genevieve O'Reilly as Mon Mothma, and Stellan Skarsgård as Luthen Rael. So they're talking about where she would be at this time of Rogue One. Says that Vel started Andor as a boot-on-the-ground soldier for the rebellion. In its earliest form, she crossed paths with Cassian Aldhani, and she was recruited to join her team on an Imperial heist that would have served as the rebels' cause first public act of defiance against the tyrannical ruler. Sis says from there she evolved with audience learning from her regal family heritage, complicated romantic pursuits, and devotion to the rebellion. So and if she remained there during the event of Rogue One, which fans assume she did, she surely would love to have seen Andor and his band of rebels, led by Felicity Jones and Jyn Erso, go against the wishes of the rebel leadership and head into the battle to steal the Death Lands on Scarif. So I would have liked to have seen her, but I mean, this is like after the fact that the series was done.
Yeah, and that's the thing. That's the thing too. Like they say she doesn't show up in Rogue One. Yeah, one because like Rogue One was made before Andor, right? So it's kind of hard to do that stuff.
Yeah,
but like she's not alive. Like you could have her in like show up in post Return of the Jedi shows. Like you could have her show up in the Mandalorian, like the Mandoverse stuff, because like what Return of the Jedi is what, like I don't know how far past Rogue One.
Really, not good at the timeline.
I know. I'm kind of taking a look right now.
The math ain't mathing in my head. I couldn't do it if I tried. But there were those what was that at the sequel trilogy, that character that people were saying that's her, or it's possibly her, which the older lady.
Yeah,
kind of similar facial features, but that was debunked. But it would, if we were to go back and maybe tell another story around that timeline, bring her back.
Yeah,
she was a good character. I liked her character. She's very well.
So I mean, the Mandalorian takes place 9 years after the Battle of Yavin, not between 9 and 11 ABY.
Okay.
So like, she could show up if she's still around, just because we haven't seen it. Because that's the whole thing. Like, we haven't seen her in any of this stuff because she wasn't a character at the time, right? But she could be off doing other stuff for the rebellion. She could be. She could show up in the Mandalorian.
And at a good, still a decent age. Yeah. Because I mean, she doesn't look like she's maybe in her 20s.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. So like, you could have her pop up again in the Mandoverse timeline. Sequel trilogy timeline, that might be a little. Well, I mean, she'd still be alive, I think, because Force Awakens happens like 34 years after. She'd be an older lady in the sequel, so maybe not. But in the Mandoverse, yeah, she could show up. It's only
and again, she's in the world of rebellion. So who's to say that she didn't die before?
Yeah, who's to say she didn't die? But like, let's say she didn't, though. She could show up and be in the Mando and Grogu movie,
in the
right?
Mando, but I'm talking like in the sequel trilogy.
Yeah, in the sequel trilogy, yeah, she could have died before then. So, I think Patrick's talking about the Flash still here. The other newer kid was too much of a headache to deal with. Yeah, Ezra Miller. He did he did okay, but I didn't love him as the Flash. I think.
Yeah, he did all right.
Yeah, he did all right.
There's a lot of,
but I still think, I still thought Grant Gustin did better. But yeah, back to Star Wars, right? Yeah, I don't know. Like, what do you think? Do you think she's still alive somewhere in the Mandoverse timeline, or do you think that she died sometime before that?
She was in some risky stuff, man. I mean,
she was.
It's a
but she's a fighter, though. She's a tough.
Yeah, she is.
Right.
She probably just was helping the cause at Yavin 4 if in any way she could be of help. She probably stuck around at Yavin 4. So who's to say? She's probably still there, and we just didn't see her in the original trilogy.
Yeah. So, right. There's lots of characters we didn't see in the original trilogy. So. Yeah. But on to the. I guess the big news of the evening, the Rian Johnson story.
Yeah.
So whether you loved him or you hated him, whether you liked The Last Jedi or you didn't, Rian Johnson reflects back on The Last Jedi, the Rise of Skywalker, and he says his Star Wars trilogy was never fully outlined. So Rian Johnson got pretty candid about his time working for Lucasfilm in a recent interview with Rolling Stone. The Last Jedi filmmaker is currently out there promoting the season 2 finale of his Peacock series, Poker Face. And when talking to the outlet, he opened up about his positive reaction to The Rise of Skywalker, and why his Star Wars trilogy never really got off the ground. So Johnson first explained how the idea of the Holdo maneuver in The Last Jedi had been with him for a very long time, and originally came from a line in A New Hope. So he said, it was always in my head when Han says to or tells Luke that without the right calculations, they would fly into a star, and that you'd end up that'd end your trip real quick, wouldn't it? And he says, I thought, well, if that's physically possible, what would it look like? It seemed like something that was low hanging fruit to me in a way, but I knew that if we were going to use it, we would have to use it in a very big way. This can't be a casual thing that happens this week. We should build the whole Return of the Jedi esque three plot lines converging thing around this moment, which and I think he did. The interview then brought up the Rise of Skywalker, which, from his point of view, sort of undermined the moment from Johnson's movie, along with other key plot points like Rey being a nobody. But Johnson explained how he was not disappointed when in the least when watching a movie. So he said, when I saw the movie, speaking of the Rise of Skywalker, I had a great time watching it. Again, this is all about point of view. I never approached this as like a territory I'm carving out for my thing. In my perspective, JJ did the same thing with the third that I did with the second, which is not digging it up and undoing, just telling the story the way that was most compelling going forward. So that means you're not, yeah. So that means not just validating what came before, but contextualizing it and evolving and changing as the story moves forward. I didn't feel resentful in some way, but you're talking about a movie made by my friends with my friends in it. I sit down to watch a movie, and it's a Star Wars movie. It's all stuff I love. I'm not one to come to for a hard hitting critique. You can go to YouTube for that. Which again, like that's true. That's so true. And like again, whether you like it or hate The Last Jedi or the sequel trilogy, like it is still just a Star Wars movie. It's entertaining. That's all they've really ever been. Like you can argue that like The Empire Strikes Back was it was a great movie. It is still a great movie. The best written out of the series, but like when you look at a lot of the other ones, like even George Lucas's writing wasn't like it wasn't great. He had some really bad lines in the prequels too, right? So like they're not winning Oscars for acting and writing in the Star Wars movies. They're entertaining. So, but Johnson also spoke about the online reaction to the movie. While it was certainly not warm, Johnson, as a Star Wars fan, can understand the feeling based on how he had reacted to in his day to the prequels. So he said, it never. He said it never feels good to have anybody coming after you on the internet, and especially coming after you saying things that I think very much do not agree with I very much do not agree with about a thing I made and put a lot of heart and soul into. But at the same time, having grown up a Star Wars fan ultimately let me contextualize it and feel at peace with many different ways. Just remembering going back on one level to arguing on the playground about Star Wars as a kid. And when I was in college, when the prequels came out, my friends and I were prequel hate central. He said everyone was ruthless at the time, and of course now the prequels are embraced. I'm not saying that as a facile. I think things will flip around in 20 years. You'll see, which it could. Things could, because like the sequel trilogy fans will be older and they'll be voicing their support, and people will probably might change their mind and stuff. So the same thing could happen with the sequels. But he said it's more that this push and pull and this hatred stuff that seems new. It's all part of being a Star Wars fan. Culture war garbage aside, I think I think that essential part of it is a healthy part. So, I mean, I kind of agree with that. Like, we're allowed to have our own opinions as long as we're not like, you know, saying hurtful things to each other and stuff like that, right? So, like, you and I get along pretty well, I think.
Yep.
And you and I don't agree on like the sequel trilogy or the Acolyte, right? So, but we're both big fans of Star Wars. So, but yeah, I mean, before I get into more of the article,
I thought it's
what
interesting how. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Chris.
No, I was gonna say, like, what do you think of like? Do you think it will flip around? Like when the I don't know, maybe another 10 years, because it's already been 10 years since the Force Awakens. What do you think things are gonna flip around?
Like, all right, let me go a little personal. So when the Phantom Menace came out, I wasn't the biggest fan for Phantom Menace.
There you go. There you go.
But now with time, I mean, a lot of things. There were things that I liked. I love Darth Maul, Qui-Gon Jinn. I didn't care, or it wasn't attached to Obi-Wan or Anakin or some of the characters, you know, like Jar Jar. And I didn't, when it first came out, I didn't feel any attachment for it. But I think with time, it's like you get this little nostalgia, and you get a little more enamored with something like with
right.
And I love the movie now. It wasn't my favorite. I love the Clone Wars. I mean, Attack of the Clones and Revenge of the Sith when it came out. That I never flopped on that, but Phantom Menace I kind of flopped on it at first. I didn't care too much for it. Yeah. And now I love it. But I think like with time, a lot of people that maybe the people that still that don't like it probably won't like it still. But they probably grows on them. You know, with time will probably grow on them a little bit more.
Yeah.
Maybe feel a little something for it. But all the kids that grew up watching it are definitely
they're going to be voicing their support for it too, right? And that's the thing, like so, because like you're a little bit older than I am, so you saw it when you were older. I was younger. Like my first introduction to Star Wars was in '97. Like my big introduction. Like I saw it on VHS and stuff, but like my first time seeing it in theaters was the special edition in '97, and then a couple years later, Phantom Menace came out. So like I was right there. Like I enjoyed it all. But where was I going with this? Yeah, like there's still people that don't like the prequels to this day.
Yeah,
and they're just like hardcore original trilogy, right? Yeah. And it's gonna be the same for the sequels. Like there's ones that are like hardcore. It's just those 6. The sequels don't.
They didn't like it when it first came out, but then love it later.
Yeah. So I think it's gonna. I think it'll change eventually in another 10 years. Can't please everyone. Don't like it. Move on. Wait for the next one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Right. But yeah, Rian Johnson went on to talk about his trilogy in the interview. So finally, his infamous trilogy that was announced a month before The Last Jedi came out in theaters was brought up. Johnson explained how it was never more than kicking some ideas around with Kathleen Kennedy, and how the fact that he started making murder mysteries ultimately trumped the whole thing. So he said, nothing really happened with the other trilogy. We had a great time working together, and they said, let's keep doing it. I said, great. I would kick ideas around with Kathy Kennedy. The short version is Knives Out happened. I went off and made Knives Out, and it was off to the races, busy making murder mysteries. Mm-hmm. It's the sort of thing down the line, if there's an opportunity to do it or something else in Star Wars, I would be thrilled. But right now, I'm just doing my own stuff and pretty happy. And then he added that there was never any outline or treatment or anything, whether it was because of PR or because there was an actual intention of doing it someday. Both Lucasfilm and Johnson were saying for years that it was one of the projects that were in the works at the company and that they would get around to it at some point. Now, almost 8 years after it was announced, all the parties seem to have moved on, which I'm sure like there's so many people rejoicing about that, not having to see a Rian Johnson movie. But like the fact is, like even like I was watching Star Wars Theory's video on this too, and he even like said, visually stunning.
That's what I've been seeing.
His shots, like him as a director, and like the angles and all that stuff. Like it was he's a very talented director, but people just didn't like the choices he did with, specifically Luke Skywalker. I think that was a big one for a lot of people. I didn't mind it. I thought that there's enough space in between where that could be the Luke at that age, and repeating what Obi-Wan was, like an old hermit who kind of gave up and stuff, and Yoda, same thing, an old Jedi who gave up. Like it's just repeating what they did in the original trilogy is what I thought. So, but you know what? Like I wouldn't mind seeing him come back to Star Wars. Whether like maybe we won't get a trilogy, but another project, and maybe do something like away from the Skywalker saga. Like if he comes in and does like maybe a sequel to James Mangold's movie, The Dawn of the Jedi. That's far away from the Skywalkers. You're not going to ruin anything, as some people say. Or even like now we have this other galaxy from the Ahsoka series, right?
Exactly.
This whole other galaxy to explore. He could do a whole movie in that other galaxy.
Let him cook over there.
Yeah, like because the fact is he does know how to tell a story. Like if you watched Knives Out, you've watched Glass Onion, if you watched Looper was another big one. They're all fantastic movies, right?
Mm-hmm.
He did.
Yeah.
Did he make some
a galaxy
questionable choices?
Histories.
Yeah, I mean, did he make some questionable choices in The Last Jedi? I mean, depends on who you ask. Like I thought he made some
thought you were
good
going to say
choices.
something there, Chris. I thought you were going to say yes.
No, I wasn't going to say. I thought he did some great choices. You know, to be honest, I thought Rey was great as a nobody, and yeah, JJ kind of turned it around and said, her parents were nobodies because they were hiding. Okay, like he kind of worked with what Ryan left him with, but I think in the end it kind of worked. But it would have been cool to see her just remain a nobody and be this like just. You don't have to be this big name. You don't have to have a big name attached to you to be like this powerful Jedi. Like I like that kind of message that Ryan was going with.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. What do you think? Would you want him to come back to Star Wars in any way? Like a maybe not a series, but like direct an episode of a series, or like direct a. I mentioned, maybe a sequel for the James Mangold movie. Do you think he could fit in there?
At first, I thought about this, and I didn't really want him touching anything Star Wars. But if it's I mean, Luke's dead. Who else is there? Just as long as they don't go back and just another character, another story, something else totally different, and don't touch anything. Our characters, and just let him have fun with something. Like build his own galaxy on the other side of the galaxy, the new galaxy.
Yeah.
Let them do some stuff and some history based. Some new characters, some new aliens, and
yeah.
Let them
I mean, even post sequel trilogy, like we're away from the Skywalker. Oh, I mean, we're away from Luke Skywalker. We're away from like the big three characters. It's all new characters now, right?
Yeah.
And or characters that he helped tell a story with in The Last Jedi, like Rey, Poe, Finn, them. So like he's making new characters. He could do a movie in the post Rise of Skywalker era, and I wouldn't complain.
Yeah,
so
I wouldn't. I mean, we got what we got from him from the.
I mean, that's the thing with
Jedi,
with all the sequels, really. With all the sequels, that's the thing, right? Like we got what we got. We can't undo it.
Yeah.
Right. So, I mean,
he's brilliant at what he does with the Knives Out series.
Yeah, I mean, hey, maybe he should have directed The Acolyte. He's good at this murder mystery stuff.
Yeah.
Right.
Sure. I mean,
I don't know.
We all knew we all knew who it was anyway. I mean, not all, you know, it wasn't much of a, to be honest, it wasn't much of a mystery. The acolyte, but it told a decent story, I guess.
Yeah, but
if
Ryan does have the
I wouldn't be opposed to it anymore. It's all good.
Yeah. I mean, who knows? Like, so, and we're kind of going on, not really off topic, sticking with Star Wars, but like, yes, George had ideas for the sequel trilogy. Like, who's to say everyone is going to love it, right? It sounds amazing on paper, but I think I'm sure you would agree with me. Like, not everything that looks good on paper ends up being great in fruition. You know, when it comes to fruition, right? So, who's to say that like half the fan base would have hated it and half the fan base would have loved the whatever trilogy George gave us, right? Who knows?
I don't know. I give George a little bit more leniency.
I don't know. It's just the times, right? Because like George was always a believer that Star Wars is for kids. That's why he had Jar Jar in the prequels, which a lot of grown-ups like yourself, you didn't really like Jar Jar. Patrick, I know, isn't a big fan of Jar Jar. But like I love Jar Jar, right? Like I was kind of like
I mean,
I was younger,
time,
right?
I loved them too.
Right?
At first, I didn't care too much for him, but with time.
Yeah, with time, right? So, like, if George had done a sequel trilogy, I'm sure there would have been some aspect in it that he wanted to, appeal to the kids because he's always said Star Wars is for kids, so he would have something in there, and I'm sure, right? Who knows? The next Ewok, right? He would have the next Ewok in it. Even Patrick said like he didn't really love the Ewoks. I think we've had conversations about that, Patrick and I. So my wife says I love it when Chris says he will not complain. This dude is a true fan. He loves every Star Wars show and movie. He's just happy to have new content,
right.
New storylines, new characters. Even if it was not not great, he's happy to have it. I mean, it's true. Like I do love it all. I'd love some more than others. Like there's definitely ones that I favor watching more than others, but I still love it all. Yeah, see, Patrick said the Ewoks should have been Wookiees, right?
Yeah.
So, like, I'm sure George would have had something in his sequel trilogy that was aimed towards kids, right? So,
yeah, for sure. I mean, that's what he always said. It was Star Wars for kids.
Yeah, right.
But he just writes these compelling stories that it doesn't feel like it's for kids. Amazing stories.
Yeah, I mean, he does, but like again,
but verbiage wise is not always
not always on
some
point.
Of the stuff
exactly.
We got, but it's all good, man.
Yeah,
I get what he's saying.
Yeah, Patrick said, but I still did like them, but I was pissed because we all thought it was going to be Wookiees. Yeah, I mean George originally planned it to be Wookiees, right? But I guess it's. I'm sorry, I'm gonna go to hell for this one. I guess it's cheaper to hire small actors rather than tall ones.
Chris, you went there. Oh my god. I was gonna add something on there, but I'm not. I'm sticking to
do it, Eric. Do it.
Oh,
release your anger.
Is it half the price of a tall actor? Is that? I'm missing. I'm sorry.
It's okay. No. Patrick said, "Damn, going to hell." Yeah, we're both going to hell now.
Right. No. But God. Yeah, I mean, imagine if it was.
Yeah, that's something my wife would say. Yeah, it is. Hey, come on, that's why else would he go with the short little Ewoks over? You know what I mean?
It's kind of it's hard to find actors that are 7 feet.
Yeah, especially at that. Probably back then too, it would be harder. right? Back then it would have been harder, but now like it's
That's
like
the reason why
you can hire
that's
you
the,
can
that's the
hire
reason
every
why, Chris.
yeah you can hire every basketball player on the squad, and they're all 7 feet, right?
Yep.
So today would be a different story, I think. Patrick said Warwick is going to kick you in the nuts. Yeah, they are darn cute. I mean, the Ewoks are cute. I don't think the Wookiees would have had that same effect on like the younger children. We could have almost had that R-rated Star Wars movie with Return of the Jedi, with the Wookiees
ripping people's arms off,
ripping stormtroopers.
Pretty hard. Yeah, no, and that moment with Leia would have been as cute
either. Yeah, that's in reply to Patrick's gonna kick you in the nuts. Yeah, I know he would headbutt me because he's about that height. Oh God, yeah.
Yeah, that moment with Leia wouldn't have been as cute.
No, I know, right? It wouldn't have been as cute.
No.
Chris will be the victim of a hit and run. Not sure the suspect was on a Segway. Oh, jeez. Yeah. Yeah, no, you're right. The that moment with Leia and Wicket wouldn't have been as cute if the creature was like another Wookiee, right? Mm-hmm. So, yeah. But I think that's where we end this episode. Yeah. That'll do it for this episode. Thanks everyone for hopping in the chat and joining us this evening, and we'll see everyone in the next episode.